Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Strong Family Money Show live show. Today, we're going to go over what the difference between pre approval and pre qualified is. I have a market report to what's going on in the MLS this morning. And I also have a news story that I found interesting that I want to share with you guys. But first, here on the Strong Family Money Show, we help dads improve their fitness, finances, and their family with me sharing information about each topic every week. Every week, we have a live show and multiple pre recorded shows during the week that I post here on YouTube, Facebook, all over social media. Um, so let's get started here. So um, let me share this screen here. So this is the MLS data for as of this morning. So we see there are 754 single family residences available on the MLS here as of this morning. And we can see they're scattered pretty much throughout the Ventura County. There really isn't a concentration um, of like where the homes are. They're pretty spread out um, all over Ventura County. So if we let's look at current price. So if we search by uh, what I would consider like the sweet spot of homes available. Um, so while that's calculating there, interest rates this morning. Still, pretty okay. Uh, hovering around 30-year fixed, hovering around 2.8%. So we're still um, 2.8%. Still pretty good. Still pretty cheap for money. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, interest rates are still pretty low. Still available. Still able to get money for cheap to purchase your uh, your dream home. Let's see. Let's go back and try that again. Oh, sweet spot from 650 to 850K here in Ventura County, 196 homes, and we see they're clustered around Ventura County. Again, no area that holds all of the homes in the area. Oxnard, Simi Valley, over the Graydon, Thousand Oaks, Ventura. Again, if you want information regarding any of these homes, anything on the market, please give me a message, direct message, text me. I can send you information regarding anything here that's available. And if you want to ask a question here in the stream, go ahead and comment, and I can answer it live here on the broadcast. So that was the market overview so far as of this morning. Again, 700 and some homes total on the market, Ventura County, between 650 and 850K. We have 196 homes on the market. So I found an interesting story uh, last night on CNBC. So I've done previous videos on what to do to get ready to buy a home, stuff you have to get in order to purchase a home, right? Get your down payment ready, find out what you really want to buy in a home, where do you want to live, what location. Um, so uh, I also go over a lot of, get your money right, your credit, and save money for after you purchase the home, and what do you need to do when you move into the home. So, fix up the stuff that needed to be improved. So last night, I was looking through my Apple News feed, and I found this story from CNBC on how personal loans can impact your credit. So um, it has pros and cons in the article. So it goes over what they feel is, and I agree with the story. I went over this kind of stuff on my channel in the past. So what they do to improve how they feel about personal loans, to as a tool to improve your credit, but also the negative impact of what it has if you use them incorrectly. So, um, personal loans are short-term loans you take out from a established financial institution. So these definitely aren't like payday or quick loans. These are loans that you use from a bank or a credit union for 2 3 years. You pay it back over that time, to take care of some sort of financial um, issue that you have, something you have to pay back, or something you need more time paying back. So they compare it to, so you could use your credit card to accomplish this task, but card rates are 15, 20, 25% depending on where you are, um, financially. And these are rates that you can get from financial institutions, um, you know, well under that. So depending on how good your credit is already, 10, 8, 5% APR on these loans, depending on where you get them, shop around. So they say it's better to get this type of loan to pay for something that you is important. Again, this isn't frivolous spending, because that's not what we're about here on this channel. So it's about, I have um, some big expense that comes up, and it isn't really an emergency expense. It's something that I didn't plan for, but it isn't like something that needs to be, it's something I can plan to do. And so instead of using your credit card, which would impose, you would incur a lot more fees on it, you would go and get this short-term loan from an established financial institution. It would pay back less in interest. Um, and the upside that this article really is about is when you get something like that, something where you have to pay the money back in a certain amount of time, then you can use that transaction to improve your credit, right? And the way you improve your credit at large is you show the credit rating institutions that you can pay back something you've borrowed on a scheduled basis over a period of time. And at the end of that time, you have paid it off completely. So that's what these are for. So you go to a bank, you say, I need a 2 year loan, um, you know, 10, like a HELOC is an example of a type of short-term loan. But this talks about a loan that is just a standalone financial transaction. So you get a lower interest rate than you would if you used your credit card. You pay back the loan monthly over those 2 to 3 years. At the end, you have you know purchase whatever you're going to purchase with that loan. You pay the loan back to the bank, and you also improve your credit because they see that, oh, this person needed this money, they borrowed it, they um, paid it back over the period of time that they said they would, and they're responsible. So we're going to increase their credit score, um, because they did that, and that's basically how you improve your credit score. every time you want to improve it, that's how you improve it. The other side of it is they go over, if you're the type of person, so if you have a credit card and you have a high balance on that credit card and you have multiple credit cards that have balances on them, this probably isn't the way for you to go about improving your credit, because you might fall into the same trap that you did on your credit cards and not pay them off, or get another loan to cover this loan so you can have longer to pay it off. So if this type of financial transaction is really for someone who uh, is responsible in paying back their loans, or money, or completing something they say they're going to do, responsible with their money, doesn't just take out um, doesn't just take out credit cards because the one that they already have is already maxed out. So if you're that type of person that isn't responsible in that way, this isn't something that you should use until you fix the other problem. So this method of improving your credit is really for someone whose credit score is fairly new. They've already taken care of their credit cards. They want another way to improve their credit score. So they use this type of transaction to show that, yeah, I have credit cards. Look, I already paid them off. Yeah, I can take another type of loan out, and look, I am paying it off. So interesting article. The article is on CNBC. Was on there last night. The dates September 11th. Here's how personal loans impact your credit. So if you want to look that article up and check that out, the full article, it is on the internet. So now, the whole subject of this live show is, what's the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved. So it's not good that these two terms sound a lot alike. Why that is, why they couldn't make them different so there's no confusion. It's historical. It's been around for a long time, these terms. So let me bring up my presentation. So pre-qualified versus pre-approved. Again, my name is Andres. If I didn't mention that earlier, realtor, investor, and social media consultant here in Ventura County. So today's subject we're going to cover is pre-qualified versus pre-approved. So first off, regardless of how much you qualify for, you only want to borrow and purchase a home for an amount that you feel comfortable spending. So you get you go to a bank and they say, you can afford a home of this much. It's good to know your maximum. It's important to know your maximum, but that doesn't mean you have to spend your maximum if you don't feel comfortable spending it. So your ceiling. You can look for a home that is not close to that, but it's good to have a buffer, especially now where uh, buying a home is really a lot more negotiation. Really, not necessarily with the seller, but more with the other buyers that are trying to buy the home. It's good to have that cushion, so you can say, I want to buy in this neighborhood, and it's this amount, 700K. I'm approved for 750, 775K. You work with your agent, and your agent says, yeah, it's 700K. If you want it, you have this buffer. We can offer a little more to make your offer more appealing to the seller. And if you feel comfortable doing that, we will do it. That's a better scenario than saying, I'm approved for 800K, and I'm going to look for 800K homes. I really have no wiggle room to make any offer higher than that. And because you want that home, you feel pressure to do so. So you buy the home, find another way to get more money to purchase the home, but now you're really uncomfortable with the purchase that you made. Or, financially something happens to you post purchasing the home, and you are now in a position where it really doesn't make financial sense for you to have that home, or times get a lot tighter because you have something financial happen to you. You have this home that was at the max of what you can afford. So again, here on my channel, we're about being financially sound, and taking care of your money, and most importantly, using those resources you have financially to take care of your family. So if one thing affects the other, that really wasn't the right decision. So only feel comfortable using the amount of money, only use the amount of money you feel comfortable using, so that if something happens or in the future, you're okay with the purchase you made. If you need to make some more, your offer needs to be improved, you have that ability because you're not using your max, and you're still within your financial means, at least on paper, when you go and you try and purchase a home. So be comfortable with what you're doing. So pre-qualification. Um, this is early on in the process. Uh, it is really like a back of the envelope process that your lender uses to say that, yes, right, at a quick glance, you are able to purchase a home for this much, and you can now even think about starting to look for a home. There's no hard pull of your credit report. You tell them, this is how much I make. You verbally tell them, or you uh, verify on your income. You say, this is how much I make. So it really is like on the phone. I'm looking to start to buy a home. This is how much I make. I've been at my job for this long, um, and everything's good, right? I really don't have a lot of debt other than I have a car and it's this much, right? So it's a verbal or back of the envelope approval, and then in turn, the lender that you're working with says, okay, yeah, it sounds like you're okay financially, and if we were to have to give you a loan, or if you want a loan from us, you would be able to get this much, and it would be at this rate. So um, a lot more, you know, it's a lot more official than that, but that's basically what it is, right? It's the back of the envelope calculation by the lender to let yeah, sounds good. Sounds like you're financially sound. Go ahead and start the process. A lot of people mistake this for uh, pre-approved, right? So pre-approval is one step further in the process. A lot of real estate professionals prefer not to work with somebody until they are in the pre-approval um, part of the process, because they don't want to start working with somebody and it comes up that the houses that they've been looking at, you know, they don't qualify for. So now we have to start over from the beginning, and it's a lot easier if you come with the official document right off the bat to your real estate professional. That way, everyone's on the same page as to what you really can afford when you go to look for these homes. So, and this is a longer process. It's a more document rich, or document. A lot of documentation has to be provided to your mortgage professional so that they can give you a hard number, right? This based on, right, your credit history. What have you done in the past? And that goes to the story that we talked about earlier in the show about getting your um, credit in order, finding ways to improve your credit score, paying down your debt, using debt correctly, right? So your credit history is very important, because that's how they know. They use that information to say, okay, in the past they've paid all their debts off on time. no late fees, right? They don't carry a lot of debt in general, so they seem like someone that would pay back a home loan. So they use your credit history. So this is, and then they pull a hard credit report. Um, so every time pulling your credit report is official, and it goes on your credit report that someone pulled your credit report. So the first time to do kind of like a cursory overview of your credit report. This time, when you get in the pre-approval process, they pull an official credit report to look over, and then they look for any delinquent, you know, items on it. Did you, skip out on a credit card, right? How many times were you late paying your car payment? So they pull the official credit report and go over it to see if they can find, um, basically your financial personality is basically what it is. They look at your debt to income ratio. So they say, how much do you make? Um, Submit your pay stubs. We want to see officially what you make. How many hours a week do you work to earn that money, right? Does it fluctuate a lot? And are you making your money a way where it isn't really the same amount every month, because they want to make sure you're going to pay their loan that they're giving you every month. And then they say, so we know how much you make. So how much debt do you have? So any car you have, all your credit cards, how much do you have on them, right? All the stuff that you owe people. And they really want to see what your monthly, so they want to see two things. They want to see how much your monthly payments to them are, and obviously, do you have enough money left over to pay the mortgage company? Second, they want to see how much of your income is going toward your debt, and they will have a ceiling as to how much they want their um, customers to carry, um, and they want to see how much do you use the tool of debt and borrowing. If you have too much debt, there is a gray area where, yeah, you have a lot of debt, but we will give you a higher interest rate. So the better your credit score, the better your credit history, the lower your debt to income ratio, the better your mortgage interest rate will be. Again, there's going to be a point where these things are not attractive to the mortgage company, and they're going to say, sorry, we cannot um, offer you a loan based on this. And they also look at your assets and liabilities, which go into like your assets. What other stuff do you have? So that if something happens, what can you do to correct what's going on by selling things or whatever. But most of the time, it's how much do you make, what's your history, how much debt do you carry, and what's your credit score. So that is like a real, and they give you an official document that you can take to your real estate professional, and they, um, give that. You can say, so yeah, we went through the process. This is how much they can afford, right? So you say you go and say, I want to look for homes that are 750K, and then your mortgage professional will say, okay, here's the document that says you can afford that amount of money to purchase a home. So um, this is really the bread and butter, right? Pre-qual. It's really um, basic information. Uh, you tell them what you think these numbers are. They do a soft pull in your credit, right? So all this stuff is like, we'll take your word for it, or it is not a 100% official way of pulling the information that we want, right? Pre-approval, a lot more documentation needs to be provided. It's, we want W-2s. We're going to do official credit check. We want, 30 most recent days of income. So it's more official, and because they also want to make sure that when they tell you that they'll um, give you a loan or approve you for a loan, that you are someone that they want to do it for based on this information. So pre-qual, easy over the phone. Don't get it confused with pre-approval. And most agents don't really want to work with someone unless they're in the in this side of the table, the pre-approval side of the table. Um, so, when do you need to do it? When do you need each one, right? So, uh, you depends on how far in the process you are. So, it's good to start planning. Some people say seen research that it's, get pre-approval 6 months to a year before you're serious about looking for a home. It's important to, before this, most basic is every year get your free credit report, so you can go over what you have on that credit report, and you can correct things that come up. All right. The worst thing to do is to go into this process and really not know what's going on your credit report, because those are the things that most of the time will either stop the process or slow the process. Stop it because it's really there and you didn't tell anybody and you didn't think it was a big deal, or slow it down because it's a mistake or you already resolved it and now you have to go to the credit agencies and say, take this off of my credit report. So you want to at least every year get your free credit report from the credit bureaus so you can see what's on it. And a lot of the times, that's a good way to look for any fraud that's going on, anything that you did not apply for that's on there. You can say you can then contest it and get it off, because again, that'll come up later. But once you're serious about getting into the home buying process, 6 months to a year, you might want to get this taken care of, so you can say, you know, okay, yeah, that's my credit report. I got to fix those things, or those things aren't mine, or credit is good. Then you can say, these are all my documents for, like, how much income I make, and here's my debt information. And that way you already know, as of the day you submit that documentation, this is how much of a home I can afford. That way you can say, that's good, right? That's a good home purchase price. Or you can say, wow, I really don't want to look for a home for that amount of money. I got to do something to improve something, income most likely, so that I can look for a home that I really want to live in the area I really want to live in. So this gives you time to fix anything that comes up. Um, uh, so, again, most agents won't work for you unless you have a pre-approval letter, and most pre-approval letters are good for 60 to 90 days. So if you don't find a home within that time, you have to do, and this really goes through the process all over again. It's really, you go back to the same person, you say, I need another one, and nothing's changed. And they say, let me see. And you say, look, and then they say, okay, here's another letter for 60 to 90 more days. So that's the difference. Pre-qual, really a back of the envelope process that your lender goes through to let you know approximately what they might lend you money, how much money they might lend you. Pre-approval is a lot more detailed and really is a hard, well, it's a piece of paper that they say, we know that this person will pay back, the likelihood of this person paying back a loan of this amount as high. We will approve them for this much, and your mortgage or real estate professional can then go look for homes for you for that amount. So if you're serious, you might want to start this process a little earlier than you need, so you know where you stand. Again, because of what we do on the show, pull your credit report annually just to see what's going on with that. So this is my contact information. If you have any questions about what we spoke about here in this show, send me an email. If you follow me on social media and you have a question, message me there or leave a comment on a post there. If you want to be on the show, if you want to, whatever, you want to look for a home live on the show in the MLS, we can do that. Message me, we can schedule it, and I can bring you on. If you have questions for next week, get them ready. You can either submit them to me here, or you can come on the show and we can answer them live. So my name is Andres. This is the Strong Family Money Show live. Again, I'm a real estate agent, investor, and social media consultant here in Ventura County. This is our weekly show on Um, something real estate related, financially related for sure. If you have any questions or topics you want to go over here in the show, let me know. I can make a show based on that as well. Uh, have a good Sunday. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.